So as someone who is surrounded by 18 to 20-year-old college students, as someone who likes to indulge in luxury goods occasionally, just kidding, we have definitely been known to overindulge more often than one should, and as someone who does buy from pre-loved sites such as The RealReal, I do have some words to say about this whole TikTok situation regarding the Darnell sisters and their now infamous Christmas luxury haul, and more recently, but less talked about, their post-Christmas clapback haul. I am, however, going to be as sensitive and respectful as humanly possible, since college professors are villainized enough as is. Like, we are often the villains in someone else's story, right? We are the enemy. We are the final stage level NPC boss that stands between you and your degree, your scholarship, your internship, your overall future successes and achievements. You get the gist. Welcome or welcome back to A Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. While I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, I would love to grow this channel, so thank you for being here today. All right, I feel like I've been making this statement a lot as of late, but here we go again. I'm not on TikTok. I have no idea about what happens on TikTok. In TikTok? On TikTok? The only time I am aware is when something is so controversial or viral that it trickles down the social media pipeline to YouTube, usually in someone's long format video. Yes, I'm old and I'm old school. I might as well be saying I like my news delivered hot off the press with the ink still warm in like the most literal sense possible. So if I'm a day late and $1 short yet again, that's the reason. This is not the channel to get the latest juicy gossip, okay? I hope that has become abundantly clear. But like the whole Walmart Birkin situation, reaction videos to these sisters have been popping up on my YouTube feed since Christmas. And in almost every single video, the sentiment is never positive. If anything, the sisters are used to make a point, to paint a prime example of what's wrong with our widening wealth gap, what's wrong with the younger generation, what's wrong with our culture, our society, our economy, our spending habits, what's wrong with the family unit, with modern parenting styles and our moral compass or lack thereof, etc. So if you've been living under a rock, or at least a more remote rock than I have been, let me catch you up to speed, or go watch their TikToks. Is that even what they're called? Are they called TikToks? Are they reels, clips, shorts? I don't know, but I'm gonna stop because I'm starting to feel self-conscious. But in a nutshell, the sisters did a quick and dirty, extremely chaotic Christmas unboxing of a whole mess. Yes, that is the accurate unit of measurement here. A whole mess of luxury products from shoes to handbags, etc. Then went under heavy fire because the internet sleuths believed that many of their items were not authentic. Mother had to get involved, saying that the items were bought from The RealReal, blah blah, response video, blah blah, more response videos. At some point, the sisters take to the TikTok again to do a new unboxing, this time claiming to have bought all these luxury items from the online store Forward. They slowed down the unboxing to show receipts, untampered tags, while still unboxing brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Chanel, but with the same underlying sense of chaos. I think at one point she threw her new pastel pink tweed Chanel flap on the ground. That to me is a straight up flex. To my tweed Chanel flap owners out there, let me know if you have or could ever do the same. Just casually tomahawk it to the ground. But in essence, they were attacked by the internet for pretending to be able to afford the things that the internet says they cannot afford, and they responded by showing that they can afford the things that the internet says they cannot afford, essentially. My gosh, how does one even begin to unpack this? I feel like there's an entire case study here, and you can examine this from so many different perspectives, right? As an economist, as a sociologist, a clinical psychologist maybe even. So I'm not gonna lie, watching these videos and all of the younger style unboxings in general, though those have apparently been quite the thing, like these videos make me feel my age, as though I feel like I'm evolving into a separate species. And it could be because one, my parents never bought me anything like that. And two, almost every designer good I own was bought with my own money starting at the tail end of college. So clearly we're already disconnected there. But even then, assuming that these young ladies were gifted these from their parents, they are in fact TikTok famous and thus monetized. Are they not? I can almost bet that they can actually afford these items, like the real items, even without the help of mom and dad. I'm not here to hate on the sisters, their parents, or their lifestyle. My reaction and sympathy really stems from the fact that I primarily interact with college students. I recognize that they are young and impressionable, and we are entering an era where wealth can be generated quickly, very quickly, and very vastly at a much, much younger age through channels that just did not exist when someone like me was their age. Back then, like, the only college students capable of making that much money were your dorm room tech startups, and that's if they were able to secure VC financing. So yes, we are seeing a rise of young influencers that through social media have become very wealthy very quickly. Now, whether this wealth is sustainable and whether their fame and fortune will last is another issue, but overall, this is part of the new college landscape. Along those lines, for those of you who are unfamiliar with college sports, especially if I have non-American viewers, college athletes have been a huge topic of conversation in academia. In some D1 schools, you have freshman football players that are making multi-million dollars in sponsorship deals now that the NCAA has ruled that it is legal for college athletes to profit of their name, image, and likeness. So NIL, essentially. So I personally have college students, college athletes in my intro level business classes that are making millions of dollars, that are driving around gifted cars like Corvettes and G-Wagons and Porsches as part of their NIL sponsorship deal. So the rules of money making has changed for this generation, and platforms like TikTok and Instagram have made it easier than ever for anyone, not just athletes, to monetize their name, image, and likeness, which in essence is now a business identity. And for these ladies, it doesn't take long for one to figure out that this energy that they're putting off, this youthful, chaotic nonchalance, that's part of their business identity. Moving on, as someone who does buy luxury goods, I think what is shocking, and that's part of the selling point of these videos, right? That shock factor is just the sheer quantity of what is being unboxed, the price point of the items that are unboxed, and also just the overall sense of, I keep wanting to use the word nonchalance, but the sense of this ain't no big thing, when in reality, it is a big thing for most people. These are expensive items, and the whole normalizing of designer fakes, I know that's a separate issue, right? But because one of the things that the sisters also got in trouble for was for saying, well, everyone wears fakes, thus it's okay, what's the big deal? Now, I've already voiced my stance on counterfeit products multiple times from both an ethical and a business standpoint, but this just again goes to highlight just the general attitude that people have towards luxury items. Now, on the bright side, however, it also highlights the divide between people who want to buy luxury because it's thought to be a luxury product, especially to others, and people who buy luxury because they want to experience the luxury of the product itself. In my case, buying a knockoff counterfeit Birkin does nothing for me. As someone who appreciates a really well-made handbag, it would be like driving a knockoff sports car that can't do what real sports car are supposed to do. I know that's not the best analogy, but let's just go with it. And so watching reaction videos from niche channels that either focus on handbags versus channels that are focused on finances or even just social commentary creators, it's interesting to see what pieces of the story we find ourselves drawn to. In this case, I don't think it's the product itself that excites them. I think it's the thought of owning the brand. And finally, as someone who does buy pre-loved items from said site, The RealReal, I do think it's unfortunate that the company got dragged into it. I'm not sure what legal ramifications there could be. I doubt any, but yes, The RealReal has had to respond to assure customers that their items are authentic. I know there are those that have had their issues with even the best and safest of pre-loved resellers. But for me, I will continue to buy from The RealReal. I will continue to buy from Fashionphile. I've even gotten more comfortable with shopping on eBay, especially from Japanese resellers who also provide eBay's authenticity guarantee. And while I can't say I am an expert at authentication, I have bought enough luxury bags from enough brands for long enough to get a general sense of whether the quality of the item is matching up to my expectations of the brand. Also, when I decide that I'm ready to sell any of my pre-loved pieces, I typically turn around and sell them back to the places I bought them from. So if they were to ever deem one of my pieces that I bought from them is not authentic, well, then that's just a bridge we'll cross when we get there. So all in all, this was super interesting to learn about and to look into, because I'm now realizing how disconnected I am from most of what's happening on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm not sure if that's a world I can handle. So can I just end by saying I am so thankful for you all for tuning in and watching this type of slower paced content. Like, I cannot fathom doing a TikTok style unboxing video like that. Like, heck, if I were to even try to do an unboxing at that pace, my TikTok reel or whatever would be over in like 3 seconds, just because that's just not how I was brought up to shop. But let me know down in the comments your thoughts about this whole situation, what aspects of it stood out to you, and just all that fun stuff. You know the drill. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I love doing these types of spontaneous videos about trending topics. However, with the semester starting up, I may not be able to do these unscheduled videos as often as I would like. But again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back for my regular scheduled content.